Hi, I'm Rachel, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how to shade using the crosshatching technique with the Color Therapy app. Crosshatching is a drawing technique that involves drawing short, parallel lines and crossing them over with the layer of more lines in the opposite direction. The closer the lines are together and the more layers added creates a darker shadow. You can use this technique on any object, though keep in mind, stylistically, it will appear to have more texture than basic blending and shading. If you want to follow along with the same image I'm using, go into the Classic tab, select Goth, and then scroll down to Day of the Dead, and it's the first image. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'll do first is select the manual mode, and I'm going to use the pencil tool. And you can use any of these tools, but I'm just going to stick with the basic pencil. And let's keep the opacity at 100% and then lower the size to about 4%. Now in the color palette, just open it up and choose just a basic black and make sure that you are indeed coloring inside the lines, and that's turned to on. Now this technique really works best if you're using the Apple Pencil or some sort of stylus, because you really need to be able to get in and make very small, fine lines. So what we'll do first is just zoom in really close to an object. Now crosshatching takes a little bit of practice, and that's okay. A good thing about this app is that you can erase or go back what you did. And I'm just gonna get started with hatching first. Now hatching is just gonna be a few short, quick strokes, just like that. And we're always going from one direction and ending at another. So always start from the same direction. And I'm just going around here. Now, since I'm coloring a circle and I want it to look 3D, the key is to go with the curve of the object. Now what we've just done here is created a series of strokes hatching in one direction to another. Now, to make it a cross-hatching technique, you just do the same thing, but go in a different direction. So now I'm going to cross over what I just did. And it does help, I think, if you go kind of quickly. If you'll notice, I am actually beginning to curve those lines, like what we talked about, because I want this cavern to look round. Now, before I go further, I'm also going to decide where my light source is coming from. That's gonna help to determine the rest of the whole drawing. So right now, the light source is coming from the right side, shining down on the left, as you can see. So that's going to inform the rest of the drawing that the shadows are going to be all on the left side. So just keep that in mind when you're going with your drawing. Now just continue to add more layers. Now, these layers will begin to act as a shadow. And I'm going back over with hatching again and just going with the curve of the object. Now when I get to this top area, so we want it to blend fairly smoothly. So what I'll do is use a little bit of lighter pressure, and I'll do shorter but very quick strokes at the top. And just continue that so it looks like it's beginning to blend, and then I'll continue to make this right-hand side darker until it's almost black. So you just want to continue that same idea throughout the rest of the image. Okay, so now that you know how to do a circle, how do you do the rest of an object? So let's zoom out. So let's choose this area right here underneath the cheekbone. How would we add the cross-hatching shadow there? So we'll just essentially do the same thing with the same settings, but we want to continue with the shape of that object again. So it's going to be a downward motion going from underneath the cheekbone. And if you can imagine how the skull would look, it would just be kind of a rounded area right here. So then we'll just do our cross-hatching just like that, kind of straight up and down. And right underneath the cheekbone, it's going to be the darkest shadow. And yes, you can do another layer of strokes that are going in a different direction altogether as well. Okay, so now what about a shape like the nose here? So really, we'll just do the same thing that we did with the eye. So it'll be shaded on the left side and right here, and then it'll be lighter on that side. So you'll want to continue the same idea throughout the whole image with all the different objects. here is the finished version with the canvas painting effect added to it. You can also try removing the lines for a raw, hand-drawn look. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.